Excuse me. Abrupt music stop. Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Chief Multihat, and today I'll be doing more game development of my dungeon RPG that runs on a web server and can be played using your browser. It's a retro style dungeon crawl. Hopefully it'll be enjoyed. Hope you enjoy it. Today, hopefully I'll get a little bit more work done today. What I'm doing is attempting to make a more mobile friendly experience. So I kind of went out and got a general idea of the screen sizes, and I'm going to start building some web pages and have them flow in a way that will hopefully work on a mobile device. So I've been mocking them up using my current game setup and just kind of see what it might look like, and in the back of my head kind of thinking about how I want to get those things put together. And as I get things going, I'll check out a few of my stream options. Let's see here. Excellent. Checking on a few things, be right with you. Still in that scuff mode, of course. There we go. I like to kind of build a monitor and see what's going on the output of my voice, of course, and also any background music. All right, let's get somewhat started. All right, so paint time. Kind of expand that a little bit, 50%. So generally, it's if my assumption is correct about viewports and such, your cell phone, of course, can be very high definition, but the viewport is very small, like only so many, 400 by 700 or 400 by 800 pixels. So I kind of went out and did a basically almost the current lowest size viewports down below here, and then kind of not the largest, but a little bit past medium sized up here, just to kind of get an idea of how I want to lay these things out. If it's a little bit bigger than this top one here, will hopefully be more centered in the screen. I'm not exactly sure how responsive I would be making it happen. And then the lower one, of course, I might have to expand some operations to multiple screens just because there's not enough space to get everything on there. Excellent. Okay. Also, I'll be adjusting there we go, turn that background, turn some of the background effects off there. So essentially this would be like your main explorer screen on the phone. The dungeon will be up above. Now if you were to tap anywhere inside the dungeon, generally 2/3 all the way up in the center section, you're going to move forward. If you tap on the right hand side or left hand side, you rotate left or right 90 degrees. And then if you tap at the bottom portion, you just rotate 180. Basically turn around. Made some adjustments to the status of the characters. Instead of showing the conditions, I'm basically going to be showing hearts, and I'll need to be making a few more icons just to indicate that you are under effects besides, just being generally healthy. The armor still will change colors the more damage you take, and then also indicate if your character is deceased. Essentially, you can inspect or camp. I'm changing the functionality of inspect a little bit, because when you go to inspect, you'd be able to then perform party level activities, whether you'd be switching out what kind of mode of operation you want your party to be in and moving through the dungeon, whether just standard exploration, or if you'd want it to have if you want to be searching for items or expediting, moving quickly through the dungeon, or guarding because you're trying to protect a downed party member, or in some scenarios you actually will pick up somebody who's been kidnapped and dragged into the dungeon and you have to find them. Well, then as you move through the maze, you need to reduce your getting you need not to get attacked as much, because every time you get attacked with someone you're saving, then you have a chance of losing them again. So you might have to do some extra guarding. There's some other kind of gameplay options. And then if you do have a battle, you're gonna it's gonna show up here, an encounter warning message, and then it will go into this screen where it's going to show basically a portrait of the main mob in the groups. If there are multiple groups, and I don't think it should be more than 3 groups in the game. If there's 4, maybe 4, I will have to provide for some sort of scrolling option to indicate that there are in fact more, or I will put a scroll in here. This basically indicates there are 3 groups, and the sword here will indicate which group you are wanting to attack, or you want to start assigning actions. So you can just click on the portraits and that will switch the group that you're looking at. Then if you decide to hit attack, you go into this next one where you would then choose, all right, you want to parry, fight, you want to use an ability, you want to use an item, cast a spell, or dispel if you have the ability to dispel. And if you click fight, everyone's going to turn green because everyone can fight. But if you pick parry, everyone can parry. But if you start picking things like abilities, the background of these characters will turn red if they cannot do it, and I'll stay green if they can. And with that, when you click on them, the game state will determine, all right, have you picked an action? And if you, okay, a couple of things has to happen. It's going to combine whatever group you selected on the previous screen and the character you click on, if they're green. First check to see if their command's going to change, if they have a command at all. If they don't have a command, then whatever you've selected up above is what's going to be the command that they will be, that's what they'll be doing. And then down below will change accordingly to whatever command they're using. Sometimes it'll have a drop down. You need to pick a spell, so you'll have to pick a spell. And what that means is that say you click on the wizard, and it's a spell, then you're going to pick your spell, like say Fire Blast. Well, that Fire Blast means Wizard is going to attack the first group, and when you make that assignment, off the screen, their portraits will pop up in this area to indicate that that's who's going to be having an action against that group. This back button will go back to the screen, and then this button will bring you back into here. Then you would continue that until all of your characters are set up. And if the game determines that all characters have been set up, well, it's kind of hard to determine that, but mainly because parry is an item, it's a default command. But basically, you hit the shield and sword, and that will commence the battle. What I'm working on right now is trying to mock out what the battle will look like, and the information of that. What primarily I'm going to do is take this portrait up here, the main portrait, and it's going to, the text is going to scroll down and fill up this box, and it may have a scroll depending on how much information is there, and that will give you the output of what happened, and then it will go back to the screen. So that's what I'm working on right now. So we're in the process of doing that. Just doing a little bit of housekeeping here. I really don't need to sit and adjust all these things because these are truly just mock-up. But might as well be thorough. Okay. Yeah. Go back to some code. Let's stop the game. So I'll need to go to the encounter page. The encounter page is what renders the battle. And I want to, oh, I need to take this one out. I don't need it anymore. Okay, so looking for the log. Excuse me. Okay, so here's the log. What we have here is show battle log. Okay. Show battle log. This is the division. And then division here. Division here. Okay. That's for treasure. So what this is doing is, I do have support for multiple mobs, showing all of their main portraits. And with something like the what you would do is you'd have multiples going down, and you would scroll through until you got to this section here. That's your actionable section. These will be the thumbnails of the pictures so they can get an idea of what the groups are and their description. So I think that's okay. All right. What we want to do is okay, so this is a flex. I want let's try this. Let's put the battle log. Battle log there. And let's take out the battle log here. But in the treasure, it's not treasure. But if it is treasure, let's see what kind of encapsulation does here. Let's give it a try. Take a look at it. All right, almost loading up. So, like I said, well, actually, I never said the stream, so. Dungeon of Treptera is actually a game that's built using web server technology. So it's a web service, or it's a website. In a ASP.NET Core website using Azure Pages. So this serves the game, serves the web pages. To play the game, you just use your browser, you connect to it, it's going to serve. The game itself isn't a CSS, the game itself isn't a JavaScript, React, front end, client side only, and it just delivers static files. No, this is an active web service that will persist the game and maintain the sessions so that when you connect to it, it will then give a session cookie that should if you don't delete it out of your browser, or if you accept it, is just all it has is a unique ID that will map your browser session to your save game data, and allows you to continue where you left off. If you delete your key or delete your cookie, then you effectively are starting the game over, and I'm left with orphan save files for now. One reason why I did ask for a username password is so that I can go in and verify. Also, in the future, if I put in OAuth authentications and such, then it would be using that system to authenticate, and then you wouldn't necessarily have to store the cookie. I kind of wanted a it's as secure as being able to put in the save game code back in the old days, where you played Nintendo NES games, where you're given a code that would represent the save state where you're at. Anybody who had that code would make that work, provided that you're not sharing your computer or giving someone else a link to your account. No one else will be able to play your game. It's going to be kind of bound on what's on your computer. But there's no identity. But the information itself, it's just game information. So for now, that's how the system will work. In the future, I'd probably want to have it more locked into the user. The idea would be ultimately, though, is to have a front end. Either I make a front end like, say, Game Maker or some other game engine, just so that I get a good visual. Then I'll use an API backend. The game itself will run in a server, and I'll probably have something like Game Maker shell out and run the game service. And you would download. Well, so when you buy the game, say buy this game off of Steam when available, you would be also downloading the server, which would be running local on your computer, and then the front end would talk to it. Most likely I'd open up a port, some non-standard port, but I wouldn't expect for you to move that port to the outside. It's just on the computer. So then client server operation occurs. The game is going to be set up so that if you do wish to host this game on your own assets, or say you rent a server that can run Windows.NET code, then you are able to run this server there under your purchase. And with that, you could alter the game data files to change out the rules, to change out the items, weapons, armor. If you have some artwork, if you want to do some artwork, you could do that and change out your change those things out. So a lot of it will be data driven, or is data driven, so that you could just continue to run your game, kind of like you're the game master, as it were. And hopefully it's enjoyable enough that you would want to do that. So here we go. I'm just basically going to test something out here. So far has it blown up. That's good. Alright, let's go. Everyone attack. So yeah, I'm going to opt with this different logging system. It's going to bring in the line of log, and then it's going to be the top part always the last thing that happened. So the first thing that happened gets pushed down, and the last thing that happens at the top. So it's basically reverse log. And when you start reading it line for line as it's pushed down, you get to see what's happening. This is just so that it grows properly. I like it being able to push the log down, and then you only scroll down if you actually want to see the history, not scroll down to see what on the end of the log. And that way you can hit ready. Now what I'm trying to do is I want to position this text underneath and lined up with the picture of the mob up over here to the left, and it did not work, so I will go back to the drawing board and see what has happened. Okay, so breakpoint the wrong location. That's okay. This want. That's all right. Ready? Okay. Alrighty then. One in 20 chance here to get any kind of monsters, so sometimes it's a little bit of a drought. And it's a wall. Doing some offside looking at some code here on the side. Okay, explore mode now. Never mind. Now, some of this technology right now is using Signal R, so the client side is communicating back to the server, and the server then generates the information, and then it's overlaying the information in the browser. So we're not really making a next connection every time we click. Wow, it took forever. Watch pot never boils. Nope, there we go. There we go. And counter. Did find another error though on my logging. Missing. Alright, well, let's fix that one anyway. Before we do all that. Alright, just looking at the state well, looking how it's generated, I gotta adjust the state. Mm-hmm. Get rest up here a little bit. Recovery for a day. 98.9. Oh, buggers. Fine. There we go. Alrighty. Alright, I was secretly gone, but not gone. Anyway, continue to test this. I'm going to change some widths. Oh, excuse me. So, we don't need to do the margin. And the height, the width is with the max. At some point, I'll probably have more of a set schedule of a stream schedule. That way, if you are watching these VODs and would like to catch me live and I can interact with you, that'd be a better chance of having that happen if I make a schedule. What I'm kind of doing is I'm making my main game sized more toward the mobile sizes in a way, so I can kind of start getting a feel for it, and basically make it a mobile site first, and then I'll do the reverse to make it more of a desktop site. Okay, let's go to... Alright, there was a problem with this. And the problem was but it made a log of 0. So... get a +1. I think this will work. Let's find out. What was happening was I noticed that the first entry of the log, yes, it's zero based, but I'm doing zero based reverse order. Actuality is it's not so much reverse order as I am displaying them in reverse order. So that gives you, so that way the entire log is already all the way down the page, but I'm only showing the bottom first. So it shows up at the top, then it gets pushed down, grows down as I reveal the next log line. And I was missing one because of index problems. So let's do a good old refresh here. And go monster hunting. And the game does have music, but right now I've been turning off the music. I think I can keep the music going. I'll try that. There we go. Alright, do some spellage. Do some sleep and some fire blasting. Of burst. Right. Bow. There you go, little adjustments. Alright, let's continue. Yeah. Man. Oofta? Alrighty then. Alright, this particular music is annoying. I'm going to switch it out for something else. Alright. As the streams go on, I'll get more talkative, hopefully. Kind of explain what I'm doing. And go from there. Maybe not stream so late so I could be not so brain dead. Let's see here. What are we doing? Partial downs? Okay. So if we go to that, and let's see if I can. What? No. Fail. Fail, sir. That's a fail. My goodness. Let's do a 40 px, 51 px. That's a rough estimate here. Wow. Quite interesting. Well, that looks awful. Oh, crying out loud. Oh, getting somewhere slowly. Not 50. Let's go back to 50. And that was the problem. let's go to town here. Here's 6, right? I got a 5. Well, I think that's about enough for the silent stream for today. Basically, what we're trying to do here is I'm totally breaking up the front end to get it to kind of cover over to a more of a mobile format to get an idea what that's going to look like and get the same functionality, and then continue to explore and work on that. And then I will continue on from that standpoint. It's more of a website development side of things. And I'll get back into game flow and actually back into the game. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for watching. If you hope you enjoyed the late not the trance music, but the relaxing background music, and just kind of look at code as I move through it. In the future, I plan to be a lot more descriptive about what I'm doing, try to explain why I'm doing it, and and be like a teacher, but not a teacher. And of course, I look forward to any kind of interactions from chat to answer questions and such, and we could go from there. Well, you have a great day, whatever time of day you choose to watch the video, if you're watching it. I certainly appreciate your watches. Please, if you wouldn't mind, follow. That way I can continue to reach a few goals. One of my goals is to hopefully get to affiliate. Beyond that, it just depends. I mean, right now it's just going to be a developer stream, entertainment factor. I haven't even quite factored that into it yet. I might even know if I'll be entertaining or not. Hopefully it'll be informative and it'll be fun to watch if you're into these kind of things. And we'll move on from there. But thank you so much, and have a great time.